Thanks for staying with us. So our hot topic today is the Enugu State Mortuary Tax Law. We saw on social media where there was a circular that was sent, approved by the tax, by the, it was the revised laws of the Enugu State 2004, was sent out according to the online reports. It says that the first sum of 40 naira is supposed to be paid by the owners of the corpse per day. So if you, for example, your corpse stays there 100 days, you get to pay 40 naira per day, and then that tax is supposed to be paid to the government. And they said this is not, the intention was not to generate revenue. The intention actually is to dissuade people from leaving their corpses there longer. And we've seen stories where people leave corpses for years. You know, some people just abandon the corpse there, either because of family issues, or in a situation whereby there are no taxes paid, because now the owners of the mortuary are forced to pay the tax. I'm not even sure if it's the mortuary or the state, to the state, but I'm not sure if it's the mortuary owners that paid or the corpse owner. But either way, the taxes must be paid. Now, what are your thoughts on this? Because many are considering that this is a very good law to impose across the country. Others are saying it's unfair to do that. So, you know, so what are your thoughts? You can call us on 081 0764 1679 090 241 63440. You can also send us messages on X and also on YouTube. Would you like to go first?
So I saw this news and I was interested, and some people commented that, who are you tasking? Taxing. Why can you send me a message? Tasking. Taxing. Tasking. Well, that is, are you tasking the dead or the living? And I was wondering, did the dead choose to go and be inside ice? Are they ice fish? It was the choice of the living to choose the time they want to party. And when they do it with the dead body, what they like. And most times it's not really to honor, personally, to honor the dead. You know, and the state government know, you know, I don't even think that the daily fees for, you know, keeping the bodies is worth anything, really. I think we're just, because, you know, it's a circumstance, something that we have sentiments about is, oh, his person is dead. We don't really charge what is their worth. To keep a body in a good condition is expensive. Of course. And so I saw a burial once in the east, and the body was so dry. It looked like a Oporoko body. Yes. I'm telling you, because they were saying that the corpse refused to go to the grave, or the ground was rejecting him. They hipped him like one. In fact, the disrespect to the dead, that video paid me as if I knew that person. The way they were flinging the body, the body flew out of the coffin, they could carry him by hand. It was really upsetting for me. And so I don't believe that, you know, you should keep the body. I believe bury the body, postpone your party, do your party, but do not, you know, there's a Yoruba saying, pay one bo okula shiri by burial. You honor, you show respect.
Would you think that's influenced by your religion that buries immediately?
Of course, and the rationale behind my religion. And I have buried a loved one. I have seen, I would not really like my loved one kept for too long, and, you know, all the drama that is around. Bury and let the person rest. Carry your drama, because you are the living. You people are facing a different, basically that thing that you supposed to call universe. And, you know, so you can go and do your living things and let the dead do their dead things and carry on with your business as if you will not die. But do not leave the dead while your sentiments are different. Some people say, no, I did not get a chance from my office yet. You hold your entire sibling because you can't come back into the country just yet. Some people say they buried, they did not wait for me. If you cannot make yourself honor that dead, let that dead go into the earth while you carry on with your business. But the task, that task that they put to the
just leave her.
It's too cheap. 40 naira is this government, the governor of Enugu State is not ready for this.
I agree with saying that the amount that they have placed is quite minimal.
So you rather it's higher?
Of course.
Well, I'm getting somewhere. It's quite minimal, and I think it's because they're still sensitive to the culture of the people. So there's something about Nigerians, especially different parts of Nigerians, and how we see our dead, you know. And for me I can understand the government trying to push this. This would you know, get a lot of people upset. So I guess they're starting with baby steps first, you know. But for me, the part of the country that I come from, it is it's encouraged to bury as soon as you can. So in the north, people are influenced, I guess, also by Islam, but also in the north, people, even Christians, do not leave their dead for too long. I remember when before my grandma passed, one thing she used to say, don't leave me for too long. I'm warning you people, the moment I go, make sure you bury me. I mean, and she was fully Christian. So this is something that I understand. And from listening to, my family and friends and just being from where I come from, for me, I understood there's a thing of respect. And I agree with that. But, I'm biased because of where I come from and how I was raised. But for those who grew up in the East mostly, and in the South generally, I think, they tend to look at the burial ceremony itself as so important, as a way of showing respect to the dead. So I understand that if you have to bring in a law that encourages...
Yeah.
I think I should...
Yeah. Let me pause you for a second, because I'm told that your mic is having issues. Let's go to a very short break. When we come back, we continue. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Thanks for staying with us. We're still talking about the mortuary.
Yes. So in conclusion, what I'm trying to say is that I understand what my biases are, but in understanding, what a lot of people, especially in the southern part of Nigeria, are used to, I would say that it is okay if you decide that you want to keep your bodies for as long as that you would like to keep the bodies, as long as you're paying what is needed. Because my mom, who's worked as a nurse, I've had situations where, usually in an emergency situation, there isn't enough room in the mortuary because some people have kept their dead there for quite a long time. So I think there should be like a designated number of months that you can keep your bodies at a public, mortuary that's open to anybody, especially in terms of emergencies, and then you can move them to a private place where you pay what is, what you need to keep them, and also to not just to keep them, but to keep them in such a way that dignifies the body, and then whenever the family is able to come together and give the burial that is best for their dead, they should do that. But I think also the government can use this as a way of raising some form of revenue that will help in improving the mortuaries, expanding them, but personally, my own bias is the less time that they spend in the mortuary, the better. Yes.
What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, so growing up in the East, I realized that there are usually two reasons why families keep the dead in the mortuary for a while. For some families, it's about making a statement. Maybe they are wealthy, they have money, and they want enough time to plan the pepper they want to show by saying that they want to give this particular person a befitting burial, whether the person had a befitting life or not, whether he ate a befitting meal before he died or not. But that's just the plan. So they take their time to gather the money, get all the cows, get everything before that happens. Then the second reason why people keep their dead for a while is if they do not have money to follow through with the rites. So every tradition has certain rites that you have to pay to be able to bury your dead. And this is where I think the government should, add a voice to by limiting some of those rights. So what they have done in my place, for instance, I come from Asaba. And growing up, I attended a lot of burials because I was raised by grandma. And then I came from a traditional family. We had traditional things going on. And I heard how people would have to borrow money, how people would have to pay through their nose to be able to pay the burial rights. So whether the family is struggling or not, the villagers do not care. You are going to bring 7 this, you're going to bring 17 that, you're going to bring this, you're going to satisfy Umuada, you're going to satisfy Okulagwe, you're going to satisfy. Every group has something you pay to be able to bury your dead. That's not the feeding. You're going to be feeding people every day till that burial happens. That's not the drinks you're going to buy for your guests, a lot of things. So the governor of Delta State, in collaboration with the king, that's the Asaba, came to an agreement and they took out many of these things. The last time we buried my auntie, when I went to Asaba, I was shocked that you just pay a token and your burial goes. And my auntie died so and so. By the next few weeks, her kids came all the way from Lagos. She was buried, no noise, no extra spending, and everybody left. So the fee they have mentioned for this is too small to discourage people from keeping their dead. I've never really believed in keeping your dead for a very long time. I don't see any use. The one that hurts me is when I know that this particular person did not even eat good food before dying. And then we're gathering cows, we're gathering things for. So that money is too small, if you ask me, to discourage people. So increase that money, but also make sure that you get involved. You are the government of the land. Get involved with those traditional rites that discourage a lot of people from, burying their dead immediately because they cannot afford it. And also find a way to limit the excessive spending. Put a blanket. If you have to pay or spend so and so like they did in Delta State, you have to pay a huge fine. So when you calculate the fine you want to pay, you ask yourself, do I want to spend this money? And then you do the minimal that's...
Let me take Adedare Kaduna. I wanted to take you up on something, but let me not take you up.
No, take me up. I'm ready.
Kaduna, thanks for calling. You're live.
Yeah, good
morning. Go ahead.
Sorry, I just wish that the sector commander was still on. When your colleague asked him, about the number plate. Please, the Federal Safety Commission should make sure that the plate number they are giving Nigerians is of top quality. Not about the detergent that is being used to wash the vehicles. Let's be of top qualities like we experience abroad. Now, coming back to the topic, please, whatever you're going to be spending for the dead, spend it while they are alive. I'm not disparaging any tradition or custom, please. Please make sure they are well fed. Not whatever you are spending after they are dead does not have any consequence. Good morning and God bless Nigeria.
All right. What I was going to say, that, you usually say that nobody can tell anybody how to spend their money.
Yeah.
So if I have the money to spend to give my father a befitting burial, why would I say, why should the government put a cap? There's a thinking of why should you have, I feel maybe my father has done this for the community and the community wants to support and do something befitting for him. So should we therefore encourage a cap?
So I agree with you. I've always said nobody should tell anybody how to spend their money. But there's a way government comes in for checks and balances, which you that want to spend your money, you should abide to. So you are going to spend this money, but if you're going to do above what we have stipulated for the betterment of everybody, you pay an extra. You have the money after all. You pay an extra. And I know when I brought up the conversation of allowing people to spend their money is, for those people whose palate has increased for foreign goods, tax them more. If you want to eat sausages and you want to eat your bacon and everything, you pay high. Then you ask yourself, can I really afford to pay high? There are people who can afford to pay that, and they pay that. The government is making money from that as well to help the poor. That is what government is supposed to do.
And to be fair, there's always
agree
been some sort of
this.
taxing on, on corpses or on the mortuary use. There's always been a fee that you pay, because I've heard of some people who say they've been unable to go and collect their corpses because the fees have accumulated. And so they find themselves in a situation where it's better to even, the little money we have, let us use it for the living. The dead has already gone, so we have that. But I think, especially with the southern part of the country, maybe to discourage people who do not have that money and they feel that they have to keep their bodies for, just the ceremonial part of it. They can be discouraged or encouraged to try and do it earlier.
So let me take Akunda. I'll come to you in Nima in a second. Akunda, thanks for calling. Your live.
Thank you. Yeah, good morning, Morayo and the crew.
Morning.
Go ahead.
Yeah, please, I listened to the previous program with the FRC man. And actually, I had wanted to ask him this question. Maybe people are not aware. About 2 weeks ago, the FRC jacked up all these license fees and so on. You see, everybody knows what is happening in the economy now and the social with the people. Now, he talked about engaging people doing town hall meetings and so on. You see, the people you want to carry along, if you are hostile to them, economically and otherwise, you not succeed. That is for the FRC man. Okay, now for this issue of mortuary and so on, I just want to buy into what BC said a short while ago. You see, the government of Enugu State, they should actually have enlightened people ahead of time before imposing this tax. You see, otherwise, when people hear that government is charging tax on dead bodies and so on, as has been said by Miriam and others, they won't feel happy. So that's my little contribution.
Right. Thank you very much. Nima.
So the government did not tax the dead. it is for the living and their choices. I mentioned choices deliberately. So where I'm from, burials are a big deal as well, not only in the East. If you experience an Esako burial, the traditional one, you have to bury your father for you to access the ancestral home. So we have the Idiogbe custom all south. So it's an important custom that, demands a lot for the surviving people. But over time, in where I'm from, the Idonege of South Ibe has continued to mitigate. Family heads, in my own family, my mother's family, we bury immediately, final burial in 2 days, 3 days. You are allowed to say, I've chosen final. Whereas before, they will say Sadaka for 7 days. You come back for Sadaka of 40 days. You continue. No, we no longer do that. And so my father, he implemented and insisted on his own. And traveling with the dead was stopped. So you can change custom. And you can change from within your family. I think what we've seen, just as BC said, there's a flaunting or a clouting privilege of how you bury. In the East, it's not about the Idiogbe. They don't have Idiogbe custom. But it's about clout. I gave did you see how I buried my father? It's a matter of status.
You blocked the road.
We blocked the road. Some people open chapel to bury. So it's a lot of clouds ahead.
Canopies.
Let me go and see, I'm not saying
you're back now.
I don't
So Enugu government have not even made the money they can make.
You will have 17 canopies because they have 5 wives, they have children, their family. If we can afford it.
Yes, and you will pay extra.
But Morayo, even in your own place, the dead would have rested.
Let me wrap up. Because you have 5 wives, and the wives, they have children, they have grandchildren, everybody have in-laws. You have 10 canopies.
The man was eating salmon before dying. It's not shower. It's not shower.
That is all we can take on this segment. Let us pack this story for now. Let us not enter my territory. Let's go on a very short. When we come back, we'll bring our guests because we've not stopped talking about this fuel matter. Nigerians are still asking, why are we paying so much for PMS? People are trying to answer that question in different ways. Let's try this, our next guest. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.